This is John Loughran Viewed Your Profile, a show where we speak with colleagues from the medical marketing industry about their careers. This episode's guest is SSCG Media's Juliet Lee, EVP, Director, Multi-Channel Media. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of John Loughran Viewed Your Profile, the inaugural episode being filmed from my basement on the pool table because my kids have a slight sniffle and my in-laws don't want to come over and help watch. Totally understand. They are very cautious about COVID. So we're here live in my basement. Episode 1 was a smashing success. We just passed 100 total views, which I believe breaks the previous AMM record held by John Bigelow, Healthcare Gigolo. So at this point, my stock's never going to be higher. So if you want to sponsor this, whatever you call it, reach out to me. That would be awesome. Okay, now right into the jokes. The Los Angeles Dodgers are the World Series champions. I saw that one of their stars, Justin Turner, tested positive for COVID before Game 6, was pulled from the game, then took this picture with the team after the game. So congratulations, Los Angeles Dodgers. You all now have a World Series ring and COVID-19. Speaking of COVID, that ain't going away anytime soon. Trevor Lawrence, the stud Clemson quarterback who both New York football teams appear to be tanking for, got it recently and is currently missing time, including the game over the weekend and I think the upcoming game against Notre Dame. That's a tough stretch for Jets quarterbacks, future and current. Sam Darnold missed time last year with mono. Now this. Hopefully Joe Namath is safe somewhere, hitting on women as usual. Halloween was interesting this year. Here's my first annual, I say optimistically as if I'm going to be still doing this in a year, first annual Halloween recap. This year's theme was making little pre-made bags of candy for kids to take so that they didn't have to reach into the bucket and touch everything. I'm sure no kid touched every bag looking for the perfect one with the most pieces, but still, nice effort to be COVID compliant by the Newtown Crossing neighborhood that I froze in the other night trick-or-treating with my kids. Now, the top and not top Halloween giveaways this year. The top 5 most popular candies that were collected by my kids were 1. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, 2. Little Hershey Bars, 3. M&M's, 4. Twix, and 5. Kit Kats. Milky Way actually garnered its own little pile that we made. I didn't think they'd make such a strong play this year. Honorable mention to Snickers, Skittles, and Starbursts. Now, the not top 3 Halloween giveaways. These are the randomest weird things that my kids got over the weekend. Number 1, a can of soda. Seriously, someone obviously forgot about Halloween, but last minute still wanted to be a team player, so they just threw a case of soda cans on a table outside their house. I can appreciate the effort. I really do. Number 2, randomest thing. 1 Starburst. 1 Starburst. Number 3. A dollar bill. Each of my kids came up and said, "Daddy, look, I got $1." And I was thinking that's probably the worst possible thing you could give away during the COVID Halloween. Aren't dollar bills like the filthiest thing in the world? Maybe change is, but still, wonder how many people touch those. But very nice. Cash is king. So despite being odd, we'll take it. Okay, up next is Thanksgiving in terms of the major holidays. And over the coming weeks, I'm going to share some of the things that I'm thankful for. This is going to be a touching segment. So let's see. There's hand sanitizer, the mute button, webcam covers, Thursday and Friday, because that's when my kids go into school. Of course, beer. And then, let me save some for the next episodes leading up to Thanksgiving. Okay, last but not least, before we get to our guest, it's officially crunch time in our industry as we prep for 2021, which can't get here fast enough. Just making sure you all have my email address, right, for those contracts that you're trying to send. Just want to make sure. But seriously, good luck to everybody. Hopefully you can make it through this crazy end of the year. Try not to get too burnt out. Just blink and it'll be December. And then blink again and it'll be January. Okay, now our guest. My guest, Juliet Lee from SSCG, live via the beaches of Hawaii, is a media lifer with over 20 years experience, despite only being in her late 20s. So that's kind of interesting. We'll talk about that.
Child
yes.
prodigy.
Yes. Very good. So I also have here that you are a super loyal person, having spent your entire career with one company, which I love. The funny and talented Juliet Lee, I am excited to have you as my second guest. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for this. And glad to be following Hank Blaney, who did an excellent job as this year's AMM president. And, it was during a crazy, crazy time. So
yeah, it's definitely been one of the weirder years ever. My first question is actually, I'm wondering, because I know two Lees in the industry, and they've both been at their companies for many, many years. Does that mean loyal or something?
L means loyal, not Lee. I hold good company with the other Lee. I've been with the Omnicom Health Group for 21 years, like you mentioned.
Wow.
I've had the opportunity to kind of leave without leaving in the middle of my career. Started at a CDM Media Group, and then CDM needed to create conflict agencies or smaller agencies. So I had to leave the nest, or what I call the mothership, of 42nd Street. And now, being able to lead the office down at Soho, SSCG Soho, has been something that really made me grow up in my 21 years. Because like you said, I'm only like, 25. So
it's amazing they hired you right out of kindergarten. So they definitely saw potential, and that's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm a very big fan of Omnicom and SSCG Media. We'll just leave it at that. I wanted to ask you, I showed your LinkedIn profile earlier when I introduced the episode, your LinkedIn profile picture. I like that. That looks very professionally done. Was that like, what were you going for with the background? Was that like abstract art? I saw some rectangles, some squares.
You know what? That was some sort of magic goof that happened when I uploaded the image. It was a perfectly white background, and then added this little stuff behind it. I kept it. So no secret there. It just happened on purpose, and things happen for a reason. I'm a true believer of that.
They do. And I don't know if our viewers at home will be able to hear this, but I've already gotten the knock, 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 dada, even though I specifically said, give daddy 20 minutes to talk to his friend here. But I think my 9-year-old actually intervened. So we're good. Next thing here, you killed it, by the way, at the Battle of the Brains for breast cancer when you were, did your team win?
No, but someone who put all my brains and blood, sweat, and tears into it, I asked Lisa Healy, whose company sponsored this, if I can have one. So she mailed one to me.
Very nice.
She went away to Texas. So hi, Lisa.
Awesome. Yeah, I was more so referring to your hosting the winners and announcing the winners of the silent auction. So obviously, you are very involved with the AMM. Can you tell me a little bit about what you do with them? Like what's your role and all that jazz?
Yeah, well, my role or interaction or participation with them has had its ebbs and flows. Started early on in my career. I was actually one of the folks who did the first Bowling for Breast Cancer committee, like probably an unofficial committee. Before Nancy Souza was the official photographer. That was my job. And one of the publishers sponsored me to take pictures. Nice. And now I'm a nice fill-in when Nancy can't make it. So gives me a lot of practice. And
then you got paid for your time? I'm doing this crap for free?
No, I didn't get paid for my time. I guess I was the one who was being sponsored as a human. Does that work?
It makes sense.
Yeah. So then I took a little bit of a break, and then last year I really wanted, Diane Carpentieri was the chairperson for Nexus. She's a really good friend of mine, so I wanted to help out. And of course I decided to help out in the year of 2020. And basically the Nexus committee, we figured out we were going to do a virtual thing or not do it. Actually, we weren't going to do Nexus this year. Actually, I'm going to take that back. You might have to edit this part out, but we did do it virtually because Monique did win. Congratulations.
Yep.
And then we just took that same committee and applied it to bowling. At the time, we didn't know bowling, if it was going to be virtual or in person. We had to make the call. We made it into a virtual battle of the brains.
You know, I'm the king of Monday morning quarterback, and I just literally thought about this. Probably could have did like Wii Bowling to keep the theme going, but where was I 4 months ago?
Well, you know, you can join the committee too, since you're doing a lot with AMM now, John.
Yeah, I've got tons of great ideas. So as you can see, okay.
But we're looking for volunteers, so this is a little bit of a plug. If anyone
wants
to join the committee,
absolutely. And that's what I want you to get in all your plugs during this. So I'm obviously, both of us are big fans of AMM, and how if anybody wants to help out, support the cause, by all means, they're always looking for help.
Absolutely.
Yep. So going to go back in time. Actually, I don't know how you did this. So you must have been 6. After kindergarten, you went right to college. You went to SUNY Oswego. Is that how you pronounce that?
Pronounce it, yeah.
That's perfect. You know how I know that is because it reminded me of an old Saturday Night Live episode with Nicolas Cage where he and his wife were trying to come up with baby names, and he was real paranoid that whatever he picked was going to get made fun of. And the punchline was that his name was Oswepe, but it was spelled asswipe. So so when I hear Oswego, I thought of Oswepe. What did you study at that fine university?
Marketing communications. So I'm actually doing what I went to school for.
That's awesome. Yes, I was a communications major as well, and as you can see, that appears us and all the football players in the world, and you know, communications was, I loved it. It was a major that definitely had my interests. So we talked about this a little bit already about your loyalty to the Omnicom Health Group. I wanted to give you an opportunity. I mean, you obviously probably had opportunities over the years to go places. I mean, you talk a little bit about why you love it so much and why a talent like you never went anywhere.
Yeah, it's weird, right? For someone to, although not in our industry, we have a lot of lifers in general. Yeah. Just staying in this industry in general. Hank is, how many years did he say he was?
Well, according to me, he sold cover wraps to Zeneca and SmithKline Beecham in 1994. So he's been with Elsevier for a long time.
Yeah. So I'm not alone. You know, Debbie Renner, our CEO, we just celebrated her 30th anniversary.
Crazy.
So she steals my joke about being a young child prodigy, which still gets laughed. And just across the board in our senior leadership, you know, we have a lot of folks who have been with SSCG for a long time or within the industry. So it's a weird thing, but not a weird thing in our industry, and all the publishers out there as well. Just looking back when I started my career, and that it's a lot of the same group of people so I contribute my experience, my appreciation, my love for healthcare marketing, to everyone, not just at SSCG, but all the publishers that I have worked with over the years. And it's the drive, you know, what keeps me doing this or keeps me at SSCG is, I think, a very common drive that everyone has, that we want to do good things. So we're educating, we're not just selling product. And, you know, one day, you never know, you're going to be in that situation yourself, either directly or indirectly. And the knowledge that we have from this is not about how we could do digital marketing better or how can we get the eyeballs of 10,000 oncologists better, but, you know, I'm learning what these drugs do, what treatment options there are, and that to me is what I'm going to take away eventually.
That's great. Well, I have some ideas for you if you need some recommendations on how to reach those oncologists, but that's a different conversation. That's actually a good segue, though. You talked about a lot of the other publishers and people in the industry. I've known you for a long time, and I know you have you're tight with a lot of people in the industry, right? I've always thought, you work with these people so much, I like to develop relationships. And how important is it that you like the people that you work with?
It's extremely important, not just with our own agency, but to the publishing community as well. I'm still a traditional pick up the phone, let's talk, let's hash things out, and not hash it out, but let's talk things through so we can come up with better strategic ideas. I might get a big cheer or jeer for this, but the RFPs, they're not doing anyone any favors. So I wish that would be minimized. And I think that, and I tell this to my team all the time.
Can I applaud on behalf of publishers and reps?
Yeah. Like pick up the phone. Just pick up the phone, or nowadays click a WebEx or Zoom, and it'll be faster. Right now, it's 10 years ago, what we did 10 years ago, and now we have to do it in double time, if not quadruple time. So there's no time for this back and forth email or, hey, fill out this spreadsheet for me, and then I'll interpret what I think you want me to interpret because I didn't give you the room for creativity and strategy. So I don't know. Anyone watching this, don't hate me if you're a big fan of RFPs, but I think if you are a big fan of RFPs, allow the room to have open conversation.
So call Juliet Lee if you want to have a conversation. That's my takeaway from what you just said there. Okay, trivia time.
I want to edit that out because
don't call Juliet Lee. All right, trivia time. Looking at your LinkedIn profile, you have one long company stint, but you've held many titles. How many, if you off the top of your head, how many do you think are listed on your LinkedIn profile?
I don't know. 8, 9, 10?
11.
11. All right.
11 positions ranging from media coordinator all the way up to current EVP. So
some of those positions have been, I think I have touched almost every position at the agency. We have eliminated some of those positions, so there aren't as many rungs. Not complaining or anything like that, because I'm a true believer of starting from the bottom and working your way up. But as we, look at what's happening in the industry and we need to compete. So if you start off as a coordinator at SSCG, you won't have to go through 11 rungs like I did.
Oh, I mean, over the course of 20 years, I mean, it makes sense. It adds up. Okay, so personal question now. Tell me, I know you as the smart, funny, talented, and cool Juliet Lee. We've hung out, had some laughs. I told you I won't say some of the things we were talking.
That was the promise, right?
Yes, that was the promise. That was the promise. Tell me something that I probably don't know about you.
Well, besides the fact that I'm not a big Phillies fan, right?
I knew that. I did know that.
Yeah. Something that you don't know about me. I'm an introvert.
Really?
Yes, I am an introvert. But being in this business, as you know, we talked about relationships. We talked about communication. That's something that I needed to work on, and in order to get ahead, in order to succeed. So not just for publishers, but for clients, my colleagues, being a leader. But I would rather be the person I'll go to a dance club if that ever exists again. But I would rather be sitting at the table and watching people dance, and just I'm more of the observer, and I don't need to have conversation or be crazy to have fun. So that's
amazing that if that's really a personality trait that you've broken through that so many times in our experiences of hanging out. So that's good stuff. All right, so we're almost at the end here. I don't want to hold you too long. That is the premise of the show, is quick hitting, get people's attention and not lose them. So we talked about the AMM earlier. From a personal vision standpoint, like what's the direction? What are you guys hoping to accomplish as board members of AMM?
It's to continue to do great things in regards to, again, educating our true customers, which are the healthcare professionals who need to help patients more than ever. That's hugely important as we continue to understand what this virus can do to our bodies if you get it, right? So we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be. Hopefully there aren't, but then again, you have to look at the science. So it's a great thing that the AMM has done. Sometimes I slip, I call it AMP because that's how old I am.
Wow.
But yeah, if anyone wants to be able to socialize in this environment where you and I probably would have done this in person via next to each other on two screens. But if you want to find it, if you want to be more part of this community, again, just join the AMM. There's a lot of good things. Everyone from the folks who have been here way before me, and those who started way after me, and just meeting new people and giving new ideas. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's definitely a great group, and I've enjoyed my time. I'll tell you, all the behind the scenes stuff preparing for that Battle of the Brains was a lot of fun and a lot of laughs.
thank you for doing that. I was expecting a high bar, and you delivered. So thank you for that.
Well, I shared it with some of my college friends who were like, "What is this nonsense?" I said, "You gotta appreciate the audience. I'm not working blue here. I'm not going toilet humor. So so it worked out pretty well."
That's for another time. Well, actually, that's why we chose you, or we were hoping you would do it because of that. But you kept it clean.
Oh, you wanted me to go. You wanted me to go dirty. I actually talked to Hank. There were a few jokes that I cut out that I'll tell you another time.
Nice.
Okay, so wrapping up here, you mentioned your disdain for my Philadelphia Phillies. You're a huge New York Mets fan. Is this their year?
2021.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Well, we got new ownership, so I'm really excited about that.
Yep.
We need to bring back Noah Syndergaard and get a few other folks to be healthy. It's always about that. But
Yep.
But yeah, I think it can be. So I'm always have hope.
You always start the season, in tied for first place. Yep.
Exactly. Everyone's
is this the year we're going to see Tim Tebow in the majors, or is that never happening?
It's funny. My last trip before this lockdown hit, I went to Florida to visit Jill Bresnick, actually. Talk about having, friends in this industry. And being the great friend that she is, I dragged her to a spring training game, my very first spring training game. And Tebow was the most popular starter there. So it was exciting to see him, but he's not a major leaguer as much as I would like it. We have way too many outfielders. We don't need another one.
He's a major league attraction during spring training, and people love Tebow. Yes, exactly. Yes. You must have, I remember this. I think you went to spring training. Probably you got it in right before they shut down, because I was supposed to go, and literally the day before we were flying out, they canceled all the games.
Yep.
All right, we're going to end our chat here with a little lightning round, a little bang, 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 bang. A couple quick questions here. So ready? Favorite Halloween candy?
Anything sour gummy.
Oh. All right. Cats or dogs?
Both.
Both. Good answer. Mac or PC?
Mac. Once you go Mac, you don't go back.
That's what I hear. Name 3 prime numbers. My kids are going through this right now.
Jeez. I don't know. Ava, help me out there.
Child prodigy. You didn't. We'll pass on the prime numbers. Okay. Personal preference when the world is back to normal. Work from home or go into the office?
Going to the office, 1,000%.
Yep.
Yep.
Good answer. Good answer. You already told me this. I was going to say email you or call you, but I guess we're picking up the phone and calling Juliet
Just
Lee.
don't email to call me. That's my big pet peeve.
Don't email. What was that? Don't email to call you?
Don't email to call me. Yeah. Don't say, hey, don't
Can I
email
ask,
me. Say,
can I ask you a question? You just did. Okay. Give me a personal hero of yours.
Personal hero besides John Loughran?
Yeah, that's the obvious. Come on, everybody knows that.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot, and it depends on what mood I'm in or what I'm thinking. Because a hero is not one size fits all. So I have a ton of heroes that are women, men, people who are older than me, younger than me, all types of races and nationalities. So that's what's important, is that you have multiple people that you look up to.
That was a dynamite answer. Last question. What's next for Juliet Lee? This is my Barbara Walters
what's
closing.
Next? Well, it's 11:30, so I'm already thinking about lunch.
Yes, perfect. I like that. I like that you live in the now, and what is literally next for you would be
literally.
lunch.
I would have to say one of the hardest things about quarantine is figuring out my next meal. I've tried out HelloFresh. I'm going to try out Blue Apron now. Not because I love grocery shopping. I still went once a week, but I got tired of thinking about how many different ways I'm going to make chicken or what's next. So what's next for me is usually some sort of meal or food. And I'm trying to make that easier for myself.
Very cool. Well, if you need 30,000 Reese's peanut butter cups, I can share some. My kids did quite well. That's our time. That went quick. Thank you very much. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you in person soon when you get back from Hawaii. So safe travels. It's a long flight. But thank you very much.
Thank you. This was fun. So
cool.
Until next time. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye. Okay, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. If you would like to be a guest, be sure to get in touch with me somehow, and we'll talk about it. Till next time. Bye.